Well, apologies, I'm a bit late this month. It's the 11th of July and the weather has finally broken after quite a long period of really quite hot weather and certainly no rain. It is now deciding to rain. So without further ado, here we go. The wild area is definitely looking very wild today. A lot of things have blown over, been bashed with the rain, but it's a great environment for wildlife. The last of the rambling rose, that's actually been really lovely going up the tree, so I'm looking forward to that in years to come. Okay, let's have a look at things starting from the top as usual. Apple mint has been fabulous. I've been using that an awful lot. The cornflowers, the spring sown cornflowers, they've had a bit of a battering. I need to do quite a lot of deadheading, but I think I can eke them out for a couple more weeks. Look at all those butterflies. The oregano has just started flowering. And the honesty, when I finally made the decision, right, it's time to cut the honesty, of course, it hasn't stopped raining since. So I am, if I have the time this afternoon and it doesn't rain, I am going to cut it this afternoon and start drying it. So it's had a nice long time in the ground. More cornflower and lots of weeds. The bunnytail grass, still there. This is my bits and pieces bed, which needs a good old sorting out. You can hardly see the pond with everything that's grown around it. So that is surely one wildlife pond. The lilies are looking fab. Can't wait to see if they flower this year. They might not flower, I don't know. If it's the first year, we'll see. Lots of what I call muckweed in here, unfortunately, but I've put in all those little spare annuals that I had, so all sorts of different things popping up here. A couple of really nice grasses, which are perennial. Again, all sorts of bits and pieces were planted in here, and finally with the rain, they really like that. Everything has been struggling before the rain. Okay, let's take a look at the left-hand side. I still can't bear to take these cornflowers out. There was a fantastic charm of goldfinches really enjoying themselves on the cornflower seeds earlier on, so I'm very tempted just to leave them, but we'll see how the space goes. I did pull out some snapdragons here. They started to get rust, and I've taken out one of the beds of cornflower, so that has gone, ready to be planted up. One that's not quite ready, but soon to be planted up with something else. Helichrysum, and at the front and at the back I was saving some corn cockles so I could save the seed there at the back, and the larkspur past its best really, and starting to go to seed, so that can probably get pulled out. Let's have a look at the right hand side. So the creme brulee phlox will just start getting bigger and bigger. The autumn sown clary sage, that can have a good old chopping back, and that might give me a second flush, so that's the plan there. The statice could do with a bit of netting here. Some of it's flopped over, as you can see, but yeah, really starting to get going here. So I've got all sorts of different colours that I'll be drying this year. These snapdragons started off looking really weedy, but they're okay now. And some more helichrysum. think those are scarlet, but I'm not convinced. So the sweet peas, they have definitely enjoyed this recent rain. They really need to be tied in again today. I haven't done it for about a week or so, and I cut all the sweet peas a couple of days ago, so it's just amazing how they've grown on. And let's have a look on the left. We've got scabious, again has suddenly decided it's going to take off. So the white was the first to come out, and then this lovely lavender one, and then finally I think this might be summer fruits, but I'm not sure. So different kind of tones of reds and oranges, but I might be wrong. Right, the dahlias has gone on a bit of a lean. So when you have taller plants, you really need a better stake in the middle, because they're still going to pull this over. So as you can see, I've had carrot fly on this section, which is the Dahlia. So far, the white appears to have escaped. So I've got quite a lot of white there. And then beside it, the melope. I've used quite a lot of the melope recently. That is probably going to come out when I have a moment, because it's unfortunately not going to be usable for the things that I've got coming up in the next few weeks. The Cosmos Purity is really going great guns. The one in the middle, which names escapes me at the minute, is not really enjoying things. The apricota is absolutely beautiful, but again, kind of, I just sort of feel it's a bit dehydrated, but maybe that's normal. I think it would have enjoyed this rain. This does get a little bit of irrigation, but maybe it's not getting enough. Sweet peas looking backwards. Let's have a look at the other side. So these Cosmos are coming on. Look at this lovely cupcakes one. That does need deadheading, but isn't that cute? This Phacelia can come out because I've got some other plants standing which I'm saving the seed for. The calendula is past it as well. Not quite ready to save the seed, but I'll probably leave a few stems in so I can save the seed for next year. More Daucus and a bit of Ami, remaining Ami. Again, it's going to be a bit tricky to use that. So here's the Phacelia that I checked the other day, and I think it's, can't do this one-handed, but I think the seeds are looking pretty good now. There we go, nice black seed there. So in the rest of the bed, the Rudbeckia, Cherry Brandy and Sahara. Saharas are always quite a lot smaller, but this lovely autumnal kind of like rust colours. Looking back up at the sweet pea arch. Yeah, what else? I've got some Morning Glory somewhere growing up here. So that is going to be, here we go, this is all Morning Glory here. So we'll have to see what happens there. It seems to be really liking it now. No flowers as yet. And the other thing I've got is some cobia, which again, no flowers, plenty of vines though. That's, I've got 2 plants on each side, and I've got it in some pots as well. So another bed that needs weeding, but this was all the teeny weeny leftover plants just shoved in there. We've got a bit of colour, got a nice big Cosmos coming up there, Melopia tiny, Status, bit of everything. This Achilles in the wrong place, but yeah, and that's kind of running through. I've got some Honesty at the back there, more Flurry, yeah, so all sorts of bits and pieces. And the borders looking quite colourful now as well. Some Monarda there. Smells amazing. I did manage to get a few roses. So various bits and pieces I can use from here as well. Cardoons are amazing as always. Beautifully structural. Let's go down the middle here. I can see some rain coming, so I'm going to speed up a little bit. Okay, Scabiosa. Dark Night. And then I think I've got summer fruits in here as well, which is yet to flower. Most of the flax has come out, more helichrysum in there. Most of the lepidium has come out with some more helichrysum over there. And on the other side, we have sunflowers, and the Mexican daisies, the Tithonia, is finally starting to grow. Didn't seem to be doing anything. It looked relatively healthy, but look, we've got some buds on there now. Really excited to see what those are going to be like. They're looking nice and straight. I'm impressed. And then finally the drumstick allium. They are now flowering. So that's the last of the allium, a nice late one. Useful to have. While we're at it, let's have a look here. So spring sown clary, very dead looking ammi, some cornflower that I've hardly used that need deadheading. Oh my word. As for the raspberries, well, my excuse is that there's a wasp's nest in one of the corners, so I don't want to get too close to that. I've had a fantastic harvest of blackcurrants. Still got loads of those, lots in my freezer. Another job to do. Excuse me while I eat one. Okay, what else? Let's go down here. The Spirea japonica has really grown this year. I don't quite know why. Beautiful flowers. It's past its best, but so the flowers have gone on this one. We've just got a few branches with some nice new flowers on them. The Achillea. So on my jobs list is to actually label these different sorts of Achillea so that when I come to split them, I know what's what. So this lovely kind of apricot one, sort of pinks, brighter pink, pale pink, whites at the back there. Beside the Achillea is a different sort of Achillea. This, I believe, is double diamond. Achillea tarmica double diamond, I want to say. And then we've got Achillea tarmica the pearl. I think they're both slightly different. So a little bit of that. I've got some sea lavender. Here's some sea lavender. Ladybirds. Very busy in there somewhere. There he is. Yep, so I'm going to be cutting that. Nice lilac colour, which will work perfectly for this weekend's wedding. As will the Verbena bonariensis. Some nice catanach. Attempting to grow underneath the plums. Look at the size. So many plums on this tree. It's unbelievable. The Veronica is past it now. That needs cutting back. Sedum enormous. On the other side. It's such a relief when the perennials start flowering, or the bulk of the perennials do, just when other parts of the garden are in a bit of transition. So I have one delphinium. I haven't actually used it. It survived the slugs. I don't really have too many slugs, which is lucky. The laspi, I just let that self-seed, so I'm looking forward to using it for a wedding, particularly in August, where the sort of colour theme is oranges and rusts and things. So when it starts turning, it has this lovely colour, but obviously in the green it's lovely too. I had a patch here. I think I put olive originally, so I've just put my panicum in there and some Soteria grass too. So some grasses in there. The Astrantia a bit like last year, looks very frazzled. I mean, I managed to get some things off from the early flowers because it is an early flowering perennial. Phlox. Now I want to say sherbet cocktail. That's just starting to flower, so that'll have these kind of quite nice pink and dark red blooms. We've got echinacea flowering, a couple of different sorts of echinacea. And this is the Gypsophila paniculata. Pretty underwhelming flower, but a lovely textural shape, great for bigger arrangements. And then a ton of Achillea tarmica, which I must cut for drying before it starts getting mildewy. The odd self-seeded bit, they've got some nice purple echium there. Right, the gooseneck loosestrife is basically too crowded out, and that together with such dry weather did not help either. So it all should be this kind of height and this sort of flower spike, but I mean, you never know, they might come, but it just looks, this all looks a bit tiny, but who knows, with this rain it might have a bit of a boost. Keep forgetting about chrysanthemum hippie love child. It's probably going over now, but it's fun. It makes me smile every time I look at it. The echinops is just starting to colour up, so it's going from this kind of green, turning this kind of bluey lilac-y colour. And the Shasta daisies, they're in full bloom, so I've been using those a little bit. So let's have a look at the little greenhouse. Oh my word, things that have been abandoned. Right, so bit of a disaster with the biennials. So the ones I managed to transplant immediately then got frazzled, so I managed to fill some gaps, but I ran out of apricot foxgloves, so I need to do another sowing of apricot foxgloves. Purple hesperus, that's plenty for me. White hesperus, plenty. I could do with a bit more honesty, believe it or not, even though I've got a self-sown garden full of it, and that's white foxgloves, so I think that's plenty for me. I haven't actually potted on my Sweet William just yet, and some of these things look like they just need a sprinkling, definitely need a sprinkling of water in there. They've been abandoned for several days. The pelargonium, attar of roses, starting to take off now. So this just has a bit of water twice a day with my timer on the irrigator, and I kind of forget about it. Let's have a look at the other greenhouse. Okay, I haven't been down here for several days, so goodness knows what we're going to find. Okay, so I've put in some zinnia here. Zinnia, I've left some more layer to go to seed. Fingers crossed. So I think we have got Queen Red Lime and another limey, just lime one. We've got Cinderella. We've got some more scented pelargoniums. Well, they've grown since I last looked. They needed a bit of support. Various different scented pelargoniums. Oh my goodness, some more zinnias, but they look like they've been scorched. Bells of Ireland, Status, Amaranthus. So they did need a bit of emergency support. They'd all got flopped over onto the path. So I did that last week or the week before, something like that. Okay, let's check out the dahlias. I'm going to go down the middle of them. I haven't had a really good look just recently either, so there's still sort of lots of buds coming. This is Arabian Night, and then we should have some preference and some orangey type ones on the left. Boom boom yellow, sort of a lemony yellow. Creme de cassis looks a bit short at the minute. Quite a few of them look a little bit short, but hardly surprising with the dry weather. Downham Royal. Oh, the Evelyn's are looking fantastic. So again, perfect timing for a lilac wedding this weekend. Look at those. Which one's this? This is Bellflower. Nice colourful one. We've got Bolesca. I didn't manage to raise any new Bolescas this year. We've got a lilac-y one, which I can't remember. Let's have a look. Tell you what this labelling is. Oh, Zippity Doodah. Wizard of Oz is a lovely pale pink one. Linda's Baby. There's this lovely, and then we should have, oh yeah, a couple of really bright ones. That is Honesta, pink Honesta. This is white Honesta. And I think this will be Boom Boom White, which is going to be enormous. And then lots of little white asters, which are these little pom-poms. So it's coming on. It's only the 11th of July, remember. Okay, beside the dahlias, foxgloves have been replaced with some cosmos. They were really tall before they even went into the ground, so they're kind of a bit leggy. Bells of Ireland don't appear to have grown at all, and in fact the birds have pecked out a whole pile of them. Snapdragons, Amaranthus, that's looking really good there. So the green viridis. Okay, we've got Auroch in the middle, which just to me still looks like a weed. I've been told it will get into something, change into something, but I'm not sure. Velvet Curtains, Amaranthus, a bit of late sown Ami, which is why it's a bit smaller, and these poor Nigella only went in the ground last week, and they've been busily getting pecked by the birds as well, I think, or the ground around them has. They are kind of pretty. And then the other area, which is coming good, so the Cynoglossum, that's sort of past its best now, this little patch anyway. I'll try and catch it before it gets, the seed pods are really, they just stick to you. So I want to get those cleared very soon. And I interplanted with some statice, so I wasn't sure if that was going to work, but I think it might. They're coming up now. So they've been in quite a long time. So the pink is definitely getting going now. Lovely lot of snapdragons. The lavender, I think they're lavender there. They haven't flowered yet. Fantastic apple blossom, and a lovely lot of white ones there as well. And then the right at the back, the Amobium alatum. I've cut some of these for drying already, so that's actually really enjoyed a bit of rain, so I can cut some of those as well. I almost forgot to show you how the flowers on the side of the house are going. So they're in tubs, and they just get watered with the water from any floristry I've been doing. And if you notice up our soil pipe, I've got this fantastic Cobia scandens. Amazing. It's going to be on reaching the reef soon. Here's the hydrangea that I bought cheaply in the winter, tiny little plants. So they are kind of pretty good. Dahlias at Diva and Honker, that I wasn't planning to leave those in the ground. Sweet peas, they are definitely weaker on this north facing side. Various perennials that I've potted up, and selection of some of the annuals as well. So that's it for the July 11th garden tour, a bit later than in the month than usual. You can see there's a great big black cloud behind us, so I'm going to go inside before the rain starts. Yeah, quite a mix of successes, failures. I've still got things to get in the ground. Goodness knows when I'm going to have time to do that. I'm hoping to get something done the next day or so. I need help. I've got another wedding this weekend, so yeah, it's all been busy. Look forward to seeing how the garden progresses for August. The dahlias behind us, that will just be all colour, I think, next month. So I'll see you then.